Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Our subject is teaching names in school history, a decolonial possibility for Zambian society. It's a paper done by myself and two other colleagues, Yvonne, Kabombwe, and Martha Kayuni. So just a little bit of a background. Zambia inherited colonial education, which focused on narratives of great men, neglecting contributions of ordinary men and women. This paper proposes the study of names or anthroponyms of ordinary men and women in Zambian high school history. This is hoped to promote history from below. The following is the presentation outline. We're going to look at the decolonial paradigm and teaching names in the classroom. We'll look at methodology and research findings. And the following will be the breakdown of the research findings. Zanko, Mpundumtembo, Mukwai, Nakatindi, Yeta, Mainasoko, Ali Kinkata, Patel, Rabani, Kanjombe, and then we'll conclude. The decolonial paradigm. This paper adopts Ngugi's 1986 conceptualization of decolonization. For Ngugi, decolonization entails a process of overcoming the alienation of an African from her or his self, caused by the colonial devaluation of African culture, life, art, religion, geography, education, literature, and most importantly, languages. This is according to Chitonge, 2018. Harder, 1967, suggests that proper names in the classroom can give students a curiosity about names of persons and places. It can also give them the pleasure evoked by the discovery of the whimsical processes involved in naming places. The study of names in classrooms is also a technique by which to overcome limited resources through interviews with local historians and searches of primary documents in village records and college libraries. It also gives the students an experience in integrating several disciplines such as history, geography, linguistics, sociology, anthropology, and foreign languages. Studying names in the classrooms also provides information on how language changes and how place names become important in historical political contexts, an opportunity to discover history of their own community and to alienate local fictions. Finally, studying names in the classroom also is a means of contributing to the growing of scientific knowledge in onomastics. In Kazakhstan, the names of prominent or historical figures as well as place names are taught in language classrooms. These lessons take the form of debates, research projects, brainstorming, and others. Some of the examples include increase in the students' ethno-cultural competencies, strengthening of writing skills, and enriching vocabulary. We used a qualitative approach research methodology, and historical research design was used in this study. The study purposefully sampled names of 5 ordinary men and women who made great contribution in Zambia, but their contribution is missing in school history. These people include Ali Kinkata, Mainasoko, Nakatindi Yetanganga, Zanko Mpundumutembo, and Patel Rambai, nicknamed Kangombe. The data was collected using archival method and interviews. Data was analyzed using content analysis to show the contribution of these ordinary men and women. Our first subject is Zanko Mpundumutembo. He was born in 1936 in Mbala, northern Zambia. He joined Kenneth Kaunda Okeke's independence struggle when he was 18 in 1954. Kaunda sent him to Kenya in 1957 to train how to rebel against colonialism. When he came back, he was so eager to work for Kaunda, so much so that he was jailed when he took a mail to deliver to the governor, Evelyn Horn, a mail which was written by Kenneth Kaunda. While in incarceration, he was surrounded by 18 armed soldiers who told him to break the chain which handcuffed him or die. To everybody's amazement, he broke the chain, and the governor, Horn, honored him for this act and gave him protection. An artistic version of his image is at the Freedom Statue or Freedom Square, and on every banknote, as can be seen in these images. The Freedom Square is where The rituals of independence celebrations are done in Zambia every year on 24 October and the African Freedom Day celebration on 25 May. The next subject is Mukwaina Katindi Yeta, who was born in 1922 in Lialui, Western Zambia, as a Lozi princess, daughter to then Litunga Yeta III. She was educated in South Africa, worked as a teacher in Zimbabwe. She hid Kenneth Kaunda in her home for several months during independence struggle when he was under threat of arrest. Her home was considered as a haven and could not be searched by colonial police due to her position as a princess. She was among the first 3 females to be elected MP in Zambia in the 1960s. She was the first female junior minister. She became the first female member of the United National Independence Party, the party which attained independence in Zambia, or UNIP in short. The governing council or the central committee of that party, she was the first female member. She was also the first woman governor of Sesheke, and in 1971, Kaunda appointed her as leader of delegation to the UN, US, to Russia, and to Britain. Nakatindi, apart from being a diplomat, was the first chairperson of all, in her diplomatic activities rather, she was also the first chairperson of All African Women's Conference of the Organization of African Unity, the forerunner of the AU. Kenneth Kaunda named town council halls in Lusaka, Livingstone, and Kabwe as Nakatindi halls in her honor. Mainasoko is the next subject. Mainasoko was married to Paul Chipalupalu, a cook for Peter Cliff, the right-hand man of Sir Evelyn Horn, who was the last colonial governor. She is therefore thought to have been a spy who accessed and passed on precise information from her husband to the freedom fighters. When Cliff relocated with her husband, that is the husband's employer, relocated with him to Rhodesia, which is Zimbabwe now, the colonialists there did not want her to join her husband as they feared she would continue leaking information. While crossing the Zambezi River in a canoe en route to a clinic to treat her illness, she was shot and died immediately, shot by the Rhodesian soldiers. President Kaunda sent a plane to fetch her body to Lusaka, where she was buried. Besides the military hospital, besides the biggest military hospital, 3 main roads in Lusaka are named after her, including a local council ward in Mfulira, Copperbelt, having been named after her. The next one is Ali Kinkata, born in 1922 in Kasama, northern Zambia. He is said to have been the most popular musician in northern Rhodesia, southern Rhodesia, and Nyasaland in the 1950s and 1960s. He was a farmer and an announcer at the Central African Broadcasting Services. He was also a Second World War soldier who fought in Burma under the East African Division of the British Army. Nkata was also instrumental in independence struggles as he composed music which was used during political campaign rallies. He also accompanied Kenneth Kaunda and sang at the rallies. He served as Director General of the Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation, Zambia Broadcasting Services, ZBC, which is now the Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation. In his retirement farm was close to a Zambia-based camp of Zimbabwe's People's Revolutionary Army, who were the guerrillas who fought against Ian Smith's Rhodesia. On a fateful day, 19 October 1978, Smith's force attacked the camp, which included attacking Nkata's farm, and he was not spared in this attack, having been killed in the crossfire. The last subject of our study is Patel Rambai or Kanjombe. Patel is an Indian shopkeeper in Lusaka who was born in 1924. He first equipped Kaunda with his own translations of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and Mahatma Gandhi's writings and distributed other literature on the Indian struggle for independence to freedom fighters in Zambia. This literature was prohibited. For instance, an Indian trader in Livingstone, Govanbai Nana, appeared in the High Court on a related charge. Patel was closely involved in the liberation of Zambia from the colonial rule. He organized scholarships rather for young nationalists such as Kaunda, Kapwepwe, and Munkayumbwe Spalo. When the Northern Rhodesian African National Congress was formed in 1948, Patel provided secretarial and printing work, which resulted in the political party starting to popularize its own cause or its agenda. He further offered his shop along Chachacha Road to be the temporal headquarters for the Congress. Patel's involvement in the Zambian struggle for independence earned him a local nickname Kanjombe, a name which he was frequently referred to during that period. When Kaunda was jailed for 2 months in 1955, Patel was providing him with food. Today, Patel writes mainly on living a healthy life and the benefits of eating vegetables, fruits, and other herb products, including necessary information on living a vegan life. In conclusion, studying the names of these ordinary people who played significant roles in our nation's history would lead learners to a broader and deeper understanding and appreciation of the subject of history. And it would also lead them to develop more interest in a subject which is fast losing popularity. This approach of studying names would also develop a sense of pride in our local identity. Most importantly, it would develop in the learners respect and acceptance for the many categories of people who participated in independence struggles, such as Asian Zambians, Zambians from different regions, women, youth, and thereby contribute to national cohesion. It would also contribute to decolonizing historical content in our curriculum, making the subject more locally relevant. Thank you.